Hi everyone, Suzanne Tucker with Generation Mindful. Thank you for being here for Feelings Friday, our 6th week. Yay! So this week we have an awesome mantra. It's actually part of our manifesto, and it is this line right here. Every time I choose love, I invite love. It's probably one of the smallest lines in the mantra, maybe one of the most powerful. Every time I choose love, I invite love. So join me for about 5 minutes. We're going to keep it short and we're going to bring this one in this week. So as we always do, we're going to start by uncrossing our legs, put our hands down, stopping whatever we're doing. I know, right? We have to stop, but just humor me for the next minute. Stop the multitasking, hit the big pause button. Doing this will help you do it all week long, okay? Trust me. So take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your nose, and bring in those words. Breathing in, every time I choose love. Breathing out, I invite love. Breathing in, every time I choose love. Breathing out, I invite love. All right. I cannot wait to break this down with you, okay? Reality versus illusion. Big, humongous illusions going on for all of us with this one. Lots of guilt tied up into the tentacles. And that's when you know there's a lot of illusion for you, when guilt is involved. Everybody know that feeling? So every time I choose love, I invite love. We think that means that we need to give and give and give some more because we've been taught a codependent love. Most of us as children were taught a codependent love. That love means I make you happy, right? That I give to you, I give of myself. But love is more of a noun. I am love. You are love. Love is a place we go in our body that feels centered, right? That's how we're going to take on love. Then the expression of that love is classically what we think of as the verb loving. But loving isn't an act that we do until we're depleted and we're resentful. And if we find ourselves going from 0 to 100, ballistic, getting triggered, it's likely that we've adapted a codependent definition of love. Love as outward, as opposed to a place we go. Because the truth is, when you tap into the well, that is the love that you are, and you choose into that place, it's not a giving so much as an expression of what is for you because you're there. So get it? So we're going to bust out the myth that this kind of positive parenting that we're wanting to do, or raising children mindfully, is depleting and it's sucking me dry and I'm giving and I'm not getting. That will not lift you up. So if that is what you're experiencing in your life, I want to help you this week playfully and practically adapt boundaries. And this week's mantra came because a friend of mine who is so loving with her boys texted me just like, how do I help my kids have more gratitude? I've been giving. We had this amazing day where I gave, and didn't ask of them. And by the end of it, I was done. And when they asked for one more thing, I lost it, right? I lost it because I wanted them to appreciate me. I wanted them to just naturally be inclined to give to me, to offer to help, or to give me an expression of their gratitude. And when that didn't happen, what did she feel? Not appreciated, not seen, not honored. Her boundaries felt run over. So if you know what that feels like, this is the number one thing to do, okay? Understand that love starts with self-love, and boundaries are love. So when you're getting the family to go out to this super fun playing in the creek all day, and it's 5 of you, and you've got so much to do, you know what boundaries and love looks like? Hey, here's our list of 10 things that need to be done. Which 2 are you doing? So being a loving parent isn't always rainbows and unicorns, right? And it's not always saying yes. Saying no and being firm and having boundaries is love. there are a lot of ways to say no. So did you see how I just said no by saying, here's 10 things, which 2 are you doing? Right? That's no. I'm not doing it all. You're doing some. But you see how the expression of it lifts you up a bit more? Hey, these are the things we need to do. Which 2 are you doing? Okay. Oh, you want to do that? Well, we're coming back to this. We're going to get all these done. And when your kids get older, you can just flat out say no, right? You can, because they've grown the ability to translate no into meaning. Okay. The whole reason we don't use the word no a lot with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4-year-olds is because when you say no, don't do this, they picture themselves doing the very thing that you just said not to do. Okay. So as they get older, you can start using more firm expressions of limits. And kids get to understand their limits. That is a form of love, self-control, self-expression, limits, boundaries, all love. So this is probably not where you thought I was going to go with every time I choose love, I invite love. But for me, it was the main source of my love and my outward expression of love. So to help you embody this playfully and practically with your kids, I like to take a hula hoop, and we did this in Yoga Kids when my kids were smaller, and we put it over ourselves, and we talk about, this is my space. I get to choose who comes in and out of this space. And we can do that with our children and teaching them boundaries, starting with just our physical boundaries. So using a hula hoop, going over and saying, this is your space. You get to choose who comes in and outside of this space. This is your space. You get to choose who comes in and outside of that space. That's a playful way to express, hey, I have some boundaries. This is my body, and I get to choose. And then you might ask, can I give you a hug? To make it silly, playful, and to bring in that connection. And then the way to do it with your older kids is when they give you limits, to respect them. I'm going to close with the story of my 17-and-a-half-year-old giving me a limit. I asked her to do something for the twins, my 8-year-olds, when I was rushing to go do something for my 15-year-old, and she said no. And I wanted to start guilting her and manipulating her, and she said no so that she could go study. And when I started to work on her, like, why can't you do this? Because she said, Mom, I have my schedule, I have my flow, and you could tell she was stressed. She had exams. She's like, I need to go do my thing. I need to go live into my plan and do my work, right? And I breathed, and she was upset with me, that I wasn't happy. And I said, just give me some space, okay? Because I am now processing, and I respect what you said, but I'm not going to jump into like, yay, you're using your boundaries with me. I had to process. So I just clearly said to her, thank you. I get it. Now I'm just going to breathe. And about a few minutes later, I was so happy that my teen daughter had used her boundaries with me, right? And I was able to do something for her. I made her some guacamole, brought it to her. She came out, and then her expression of love for me was, hey, you know what? I can actually do that thing for the kids. And at that point, I said, no, I don't need you to at this point. The kids have already jumped in, and they're doing whatever I needed. So that's kind of how it unfolded for us, and how boundaries are love. Okay, they're communication. They're a gift we give. So every time you choose love, you invite love. This week, this expression this week, how can you love you? How can you set a limit in place that is you choosing love for the people you love? I hope that this week's mantra lives for you, and that you find ways to bring it into your life playfully and practically. Share below. Tell me where you are hitting that trigger point, 0 to 100, and if something we said here today might be of help. All right, guys, I'll see you next Friday, 9 a.m. Bye-bye.